New York and on the new Hot 97 app. Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
Ebro in the morning, the beautiful Laura Styles. Rosenberg is at All-Star Week in Chicago. Somebody who flew this way from Chicago, give it up for the legend, Twista in the building. What's going on?
What up?
Look, man, you got a new release coming through Red Bull Music.
Yep, that's right.
And a whole project. Now, are they showing appreciation for the whole legacy too?
Mostly focused on the project. You know, they recognize what I did and everything, and that's what makes it as big as it is. But it's more focused around the project and how I'm working with artists.
So this new project, it's gonna have new music. You got some behind the scenes, as well as some news. That's, what does this say?
Yeah.
The above news is on embargo for now. Is this not supposed to be? Oh. I was like, am I not supposed to say it?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, no, so first let's talk about Chicago.
Yeah, okay.
And the music scene in Chicago. And
yeah, man.
I mean, just you were a part of a movement in the 90s,
Yep.
right? You went from,
Yes,
finessing and battle rapping and, showing style,
Yes, sir.
to putting out hit records with Kanye West.
That's right.
First, do you think that people understand your influence on the game?
In the city, they do. You know, as it spreads out. A lot of time, I notice when people see me.
Right.
You know, I might not feel it or see a lot of things, but if I see a certain person, then they'll have that look in that eye, or they'll say something to let me know that they recognize me, or they'll just say thank you. They'll be like, "Man, thank you for the music you've been putting out over the years."
And then with Kanye West, do you guys still have a relationship?
I haven't talked to him as much. I talked to Ryan Fest recently.
Yeah.
I know he goes down there with him a lot.
Yeah.
And we still cool. We just haven't talked.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Do you think the city of Chicago, where it is right now musically, I mean, there's a lot of the young boys that's really did some major work, independently and otherwise, since Chief Keef and Dirk and Bibby and all them cats.
I think Chicago was not in a place to be able to flourish until we got an outlet. And I think once the world saw Chief Keef in his house with his shirt off and got a different image of music, then I think that kind of helped open up for people to really recognize what Chicago is about from the raw aspect.
And then, but then you have the other side too, with Chance the Rapper and
like I've always explained how diverse
Saba
it is.
and No Name and a
we
lot
in the
of
middle,
that conscious world.
Yeah, and that's tripped out because we in the middle. Like I consider Chicago like we're in the Midwest. So you might have one block where there's many fans. Like on this end of the block is more West Coast fans. On this end of the block is more East Coast fans. Like me and Saba are pretty much from the same side of town, but we sound different. You know what I mean? So that's one thing I've always liked about Chicago is, we take a 360 view and we can snatch a vibe from everywhere. So
and shout to Vic Mensa too. Vic Mensa do everything. You know what I'm saying?
He get it in.
He making rock records. He doing everything.
Yeah, that's a real talented brother. I always knew Vic was gonna be like.
Oh, so you saw him from young?
Yeah. I can hear it. I think the first time I heard Vic was on the Cocoa Butter Kisses record with me, him, and Chance.
Oh, right.
I knew he was gonna be a beast as soon as I heard that record. Yeah.
People were celebrating College Dropout because it turned 16 this year, and they were sharing like all these like where were you when you first heard the record and favorite memories of that time? Like how was it for you?
Nice.
Like just recording, being in the studio, and putting that project together.
That was fun and weird at the same time. I think it was weird because me being from Chicago and around Kanye, and to hear him like boast what he was about to do or what he was doing, like I literally saw that shit, like just come together. Like wow, like I'm watching him on the phone argue with somebody. How is my video not number one? I'm about to be the hottest producer in the next 2 years. I'm like, he said that? It was less than 2 years. He had a handful of Grammys like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And just the vibe, like the way he does music and everything. Like I knew College Dropout was gonna be big because of his musical background and the samples he chose and things like that. So he had this.
Well, and also coming up under No ID, who was already a legend, you know what I mean? And that whole, and learning from No ID and Common and that whole kind of foundation.
Definitely from him learning from No ID was a big influence on his music. So like me, I've always liked his music early on. Like when I was going to his mom's house, listening to beats. I've always liked his beats.
What did you ever have a Kanye West prior to College Dropout? Had you used the Kanye West production to rhyme over on your projects?
Nope. I think the first time I got to use one of his tracks was the hit, the Slow Jams.
Yeah, Slow Jam.
I think that's the first time I rapped on one of his beats.
How did you guys meet?
In Chicago, going to different scenes.
Yeah.
We used to be like up north sometime. There was certain hip hop clubs up north, certain clubs out south, and we would all be in the clubs. A lot of times we would all come out. Everybody would come out and spit their rhymes. So Kanye, he knew my buddy Tumchi. Tumchi was like, oh, this Kanye. And we would all stand in front of the clubs up on Randolph Street and rap and do our thing.
Have you listened to Eminem's most recent project?
Yeah, I listened to some of it. I listened to the whole thing.
Yeah,
I caught glimpses.
But you hear that work he putting in on really getting these bars.
Yeah.
What is it now? He's got the most some Guinness Book of World Record.
Words in 30 seconds.
Yeah. The most words in 30
Now
seconds.
you had a Guinness Book of World Record back in 1992 for
mine was the most word. Mine was the most syllables in a minute.
Most syllables. Does that still stand?
Somebody broke it about 10 years later. Yeah,
Got it.
And somebody broke it. Yeah.
We don't know who that is. I gotta look that up.
Yeah. I don't know who it is.
You don't care about that sort of thing.
No. What I did was I stopped my record on purpose because what I did was broke Daddy Freddie's record. So I stopped on purpose because I thought people would come right behind me to break the record. Nobody never tried it or did it for like over 10 years. So that record stood. So by the time somebody broke it, I was already making my joints and my hits and didn't really care about it anymore. So.
Do you watch battle rap still?
Yeah, I watch it sometimes.
You watch it sometimes. Yeah. Do you like the evolution of the battle scene? Of where it's gone?
Definitely. The battle scene, like I wouldn't be me without the battle scene.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons I pay attention to it. And those are really the lyrics, or should I say that's the music that gives me my rush. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I might listen to the radio, I might hear a jam every once in a while, it's cool. But my hip-hop rush comes from listening to the battle rappers or certain artists that focus on lyrics and wordplay and stuff like that.
Now, when you approach the battle are any of your battles online? Can anybody watch them?
No.
Or they wasn't videoing them
man. No, it's too far back.
Yo, it's crazy,
But
right? How many?
I might have.
do you have any record of any of this?
You can get online and catch me once or twice when I was around 18 or 19, spitting like some fast lyrics or something like that. And like when I was on the battle scene, I was a little before my time. Like so, by the time I started making records and everything, I was tearing them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, back then.
But I was tongue twister days.
Yeah. So back then, that was the whole birth of like how I was able to do what I do. So, what happened was when I was able to mesh what I was doing on the battle scene with what I was hearing industry-wise, and once I was able to make that union, then that's how I flourished.
So I got two questions for you. What influenced your rap style the most?
A lot of stuff, but the most I would say Rakim.
Okay. Yeah. And when did you take what Rakim was doing and add the I guess the speed to it?
It's kind of there. Like if you listen to Rakim, like if I'm listening to some of my rhymes, or like I'll sit around somebody and start spitting like lyrics of fury for them, or you know what I'm saying?
True.
It's a certain type of funk zone to it. And then if you go to some of my songs, you know what I'm saying? Like I share a similar funk zone. That's what I call it, a funk zone. You know what I mean? So Rakim definitely is the birth of my funk zone, like how I spit it. Even though he raps different, but listen to some of the
That's right.
give it, brother. Want you to give it, brother. Time to move on. You better get in the quick and work. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm on some more ill shit. You know what I'm saying? So his style is reminiscent of what I do syllable-wise. It's just a different cadence.
So, and even then, when you look at a Rakim and what you was doing, and thinking about 90s battles, a lot of the technical aspects, you still needed to be on beat, in the pocket, and play with the rhythmic pocket.
Yeah.
Fast forward to now, which is sometimes how I wonder, can cats who are trying to be offbeat actually stay on beat, though? Because sometimes you hear cats, they can't stay on beat. They don't know how to count.
They keep up with the beat.
Right.
Sometimes they go behind it. They keep up with the beat.
But they can't play around with the rhythmic pocket. that way. And I'm wondering if that's a lost art form, which is why I still appreciate Eminem doing what he's doing, even though a lot of young cats don't necessarily feel like they giving him his credit either.
A lot of young cats don't really care about intelligence in rap a lot no more. You know what I mean? Like,
there are some that do.
Some do, but we've been in it for so long. Like, we saw the decline of intelligent input.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? So I think right now you got a lot of people that do music, or when they listen to music, they more into the vibe, the zone, the way.
Hang on one second. I can give my daughter some water. She coughing. You okay?
I don't think she can hear you.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. But yeah, no, I think, because obviously we had KRS when we had Rakim, it was all about knowledge, right? A lot of that, late
some
80s.
of them were just going like Cool G rap too.
Cool G rap was, street talk. But, we had gangsterism and imagery, but some knowledge and things like that. Do you want, and on this new project that you have with Red Bull, are you leaning into that same style? Have you stepped it up a notch?
No.
Have you changed things?
The Red Bull thing is a totally different experience.
Tell me what it is.
The cool part about it, because I worked with a lot of writers on this project, but the cool part about it for me is a lot of rappers are not comfortable in their skin.
Okay.
So they'll hide the fact that somebody wrote something for them or did something for them. But me, like, I've been tearing it up for years. So at this stage in my career, when I look at artists like Drake or Kanye West, or people who I know that may bring a team of writers in sometime, a room, or create a one mind with a bunch of people, I wanted to venture into that. So like when it was the battle rap thing and I conquered that, I wanted to go harder. So I wanted to make a hit or be in the industry. So then I got that part out. So now at this stage in my career, I wrote so many records that when I got presented with the opportunity to more so express myself than be the lyricist, I wanted to see what that feels like. You know what I mean? Let me get in a room with a collective mind, see how I work with other artists when I make a line that collides with their line and this and that. So it was a fun project to do with that many different writers who understood my rap style, and we can collectively come up with a project. So I like it a lot.
It's interesting to hear you say that, because even like I remember when Drake was getting all the, flex up here, everybody was going at Drake for him not writing. I was like, but it's not like he can't rap.
Yeah, he should have told him I'll bust your head. Yeah, somebody wrote for me, and if you try me, I'll bust your head. But what I wrote.
And the songs that were written for him were just cadence heavy, like club chant. You know what I mean? I forget what it, was it 0 to 100, I think was one of them. Or
To
something
me,
like
you
that.
should be scared of an artist that knows how to make his own records and also decides to use other people to write. That's
Say that
the
again
artist
for
to
the
be
people
scared
in
of.
the back.
You should be scared of an artist that knows how to write his own records but also chooses to use other people to
And
help
why do
him
you
write.
say that?
Because that means his mind, his ceiling is high. It's way over where you thinking. He's achieving a perfection, and he wants a position in music that's not something you may even understand. You know what I mean? It's like he know he can do it, but he know with these collective minds in a room,
It's like
I can
Infinity
get something.
Stones. It's like Thanos.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's interesting you say that, because a lot of people, when they talk about rappers and writing rhymes, they always have an asterisk next to Drake's name because of that, as if it's a bad thing.
Yeah, I told you what he should have told him. I bust your head with my rhymes. I do this to take what I'm doing further. You know what I mean? Like if you say I'm this big star and I want to put out a project here, I might not be able to keep up with it. So I might need to get a team of writers who write in my style, who I know are going to give me something that's in my vibe to kind of keep me on pace with my money, with my opportunities. You know what I mean? So it's
So your
different
productivity
reasons.
can stay high.
Say it again?
Your productivity can stay high.
Yeah, your
so
productivity can stay real high, and you can keep up with what's being offered to you. So it's different reasons to why people, get people to write rhymes for them. You know what I'm saying? Then I've seen people who know how to write lyrics, and other people who don't, who may be able to perform those lyrics better than this person.
And I
who
think
wrote
that
them.
was the case with the records that you heard the originals of from Drake. You heard the originals. You would say from Quentin Miller, and shout to Quentin Miller, who I know was having a tough time on the internet the other day, because if you're reading this, it's too late.
Yeah.
Turned 10 years old, was it, or something like that?
And people were celebrating the album online, and he was like, it really wasn't a great time for me, because while everybody else was celebrating, he really got the short end of the stick.
Yeah, like people was ridiculing him. I think he got jumped or something. Him and Meek and them, Meek and them jumped him or did something to him or something.
For being a ghostwriter.
Man.
And for not being quiet about it.
boss up, man. You flex your personality, man up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Don't take it. You know what I mean? I say don't take it, man. You know, throw it back in their face.
I mean, we come from a different era too, where these challenges present themselves, and if you fold up, you food out here. You can't fold up.
You can't fold up.
You can't.
You can't fold up, especially out here, man. I was telling Raw like man, like through my years of coming out here
To New York.
Yeah, to New York. New York is tough, man. You gotta be on your thing. You know.
What was the first performance you had in New York? What year?
Ooh, I can't remember that. I can't remember that. First performance? No, my first memories of New York is like me going to MTV Raps and being on a show with Dr. Dre and Ed Lover. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how. Yeah, those are some of my first memories.
And then, what were some of your favorite tours that you've been on? Who were some of the favorites that you performed with share the stage with?
I think one of my favorites was my first, which was with it was with Ghetto Boys, and My Mind's Playing Tricks on Me was the hot record they had out, and Del the Homo Sapien was on the show, and De La Soul.
So it was De La, Ghetto Boys, Del, and Twista.
Yes.
Yo, that's every aspect of hip hop.
Yeah,
that's so dope.
I really enjoyed that time because I got a chance to chop it up with Paz and them backstage, and I kind of just caught a vibe
message
from
to
them.
all you rap promoters out there and doing rap shows. Say that line up again.
De La Soul, Del the Homo Sapien, Twista, Ghetto Boys, crazy, and it was some more people
And that's
too.
the Bay Area, New York, Chicago, and Houston.
Yeah.
Every region covered.
And that tour killed too. We killed on that tour. Yeah.
Yo, man. I mean, I think they attempt that now. I mean, now you got the big festivals though, which got everything covered, right? You got what's it called? Rolling Loud.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, they pretty much cover everyone.
Tyler's Festival.
Yeah.
But you know the difference though when from a festival and that dope promoter that knows how to
put a market.
Put a right group of talent together to make another person be like, wow.
It's tough now, man, to be an independent promoter, right? Because you either gotta have a Live Nation connect so that you don't, you can actually get the acts because the acts are getting booked by these big corporations.
Yeah.
And so if you're just doing a one-off show, you know what I mean? You gotta figure out how to get in there with the booking agent and make sure you're a part of a tour coming through.
Definitely. It's different now. It's definitely different now. You gotta, to me as an artist, you gotta kind of know the promoter game a little bit to flourish in it.
Now you still out here doing shows.
Yeah. Still doing shows. Sometimes I promote shows, different things, man. Real estate, a little bit of everything. So I'm in a good place mentally.
Is money still made off music for you?
Most of it, but I make half of my other money doing
other things. But that slow jam money is still.
Yeah, I still rock a show off of slow jams.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm still in some casino somewhere popping slow jams off, overnight celebrity, you know what I mean? Yeah. Just it been a good time for me, like through the years. Like I think the good thing for me is like when I came out at first, Mr. Tongue Twister and like the first album, I think people were shocked to see 10 years later me come out again like I was brand new with like Adrenaline Rush and Kamikaze. So and then to still be doing it, I think it's just, man, I love it, So it's cool to be doing something that you love, for so long and not care what nobody else say and be happy in your own skin.
That's beautiful. Well, salute and congratulations on that. Now, you on your way back to Chicago.
Yep.
Are you, the city's excited for the All-Star?
Man, they turned. I think I'm going to go to the game Sunday and missed a few things today, but man, they turned, man. Chicago is real geeked about this and it's new to them. A lot of people never experienced something like this, so they don't know what to do. But it's turned.
It's cold for real outside.
1 degree right now.
Oof.
Laura, you on your way?
Oof. I'm looking at his cold. I'm like, I'm on my way.
By the time you get there, it's going to be 12 or 13 degrees.
Oof.
Oh, so it'll be a little bit warmer.
A little bit.
Jeez.
But it's going to last 9, 10, 11 o'clock. It's still going to be 12, 13 degrees.
Oh, don't get warmer, don't get colder. It just sits
tomorrow
right there.
it's going to be 35 degrees.
And it doesn't matter, though, because that wind, oof.
Oh, yeah, that wind chill is below 0.
Wow. Twista's his name.
It was a water hose. I saw on the news the water hose was still connected to the building. It was in a curl like that, and then the water was coming out, and it was just froze. Just sitting there froze. It was like a piece of art.
How's the city dealing with this Jussie Smollett, man? What's going on, man? What y'all doing out there? What's going on? The police is still going after this?
Nah, ain't nobody thinking about that. To me, I think it's politically charged.
Well, because it's a black woman that handled the case first that they trying to make look bad.
I think she's trying to get back in office, so it's like, I guess it's a pull that thing back up and let's get him, so I can, recorrect my mistake so I can get back in office. I don't know. But then I think it's the feds this time, so. Yeah.
So it's Trump and his people coming after this story because they're not going to let somebody lie about a MAGA hat and a noose, right? They're not going to let that fly.
You know what? I didn't think about that. You killed me with that one. I didn't even think
They're not going to let that fly.
they
they trying to turn this into something, so anybody that come out and say something or,
then you got to think it's new. Like a lot of times, technology will present us with a new problem that us as society haven't dealt with yet. So I think the Jussie Smollett thing was one of the first of its kind, and nobody knew exactly what to do, and then they realized they messed up.
Because people fake stories all the time.
Yeah.
It happens all the time, but on a celebrity level and on social media
yeah.
and the MAGA hat and the racism and the noose and the...
Yeah, I think he learned a lesson to not be that famous and play those type of games.
Well, his career's finished. So I don't even know... Yeah. I don't really know if there's anything they could do to him that's going to hurt him worse than the fact that it feels like his career's finished.
Man. Ooh, well, what a mistake. I bet he wish he said that.
Because I don't think they could put him in jail for this.
No, they might.
They're just going to fine him.
You don't think he's going to do no time?
They're just going to fine him all his
You
money.
can't do time for this one offense. It's not even like he's got priors or nothing like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Probation
probably.
6 counts of lying to the police?
Ain't nobody was physically harmed. The only thing that happened here was money was spent, and now the question mark next to people who say things happen to them.
The sad thing about it is to not understand when somebody needs help.
That's right.
Versus a criminal. Like that to me is a mental health issue or
that's
some
what
other
a
type
lot
of
of
problem,
people when we've said on this program too that why would he even play with this?
Yeah.
What's going on with him mentally that he thought that this was even a good idea?
Yeah, people like him, Antonio Brown, I think you should get to the core of the problem. Like when you see people act out like that, it's something
we just had
else
Antonio Brown on the show the other day. That was the only thing I wanted to talk to him about, really.
Yeah.
Was like, yo, you all right, though? Like, Laura didn't appreciate how he handled some things, but I think he's got some things going on upstairs that he needs to fix.
Definitely, I agree with you with that. I feel like there's something wrong. He definitely has mental health issues. I just didn't like how he had no accountability for anything, any of his actions.
Well, it'll happen soon.
Life happens to you.
It happens to all of us. So it'll happen soon.
Yo, give it up one time. This is Twista. Go get that new project, Red Bull Music Studio Sessions, Twista. Thank you, brother.
Man, thank you. Yeah, make sure y'all get Lifetime. It's real dope.